So the first thing I do is I will sit down and I will write polishes that come from the top of my head. And in a minute, I will turn the camera around and I'll just show me going through the process. So I'll put on the piece of paper what color of favorites I'm doing. And then I definitely have favorites that stand out. And some I forget, most of them I remember. If they're really my favorites, I never forget them. And so I'll jot those down. So let's do that process now. Okay, hopefully you can see this. This was a little bit awkward trying to get this to look right. So let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna write on my piece of paper here. I'm gonna write turquoise. And sorry if I spell any words wrong. So let's do favorites. Okay, I'm gonna keep that separate. And then I'm gonna keep, here I'm gonna write lightest. And then I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do a separate page, and then I'll do darkest darks. Favorites. So then off the top of my head, there's an orally polish called Vintage. That's gonna give away my favorite. And I can't remember exactly what collection that was from. Sometimes I like to leave space too if I have room, especially if I need to add anything kind of in between here that's kind of close. And so I'll put another line here. I like Essie, Bustling Bazaar. What else do I like? There's the new orally one that just came out. It's called Wistful Waterfalls, Water Lily. So those are the ones that stand out. I can't think of anything right now, and it's later in the day. My brain doesn't work as well. I get brain fog in the afternoon because I have a herniated disc in my neck that get inflamed by the end of the day. So I'm a little bit slower this afternoon. Okay, so then lightest lights, I'm gonna add Essie Blanc, and then I'm going to add the Ella and Mila White, because I don't know what the name of that one is. And then I'm going to add one that's not white. I like OPI. Hugh is the artist. I think there's an OPI one called Tile Art or something, to warm the heart or something, and I believe that's the blue, but I'm going to put a question mark by it because I'm not sure that's the name. And those are all the ones that I can think of right now. There's a new Essie one from the spring line that's bluer. I'm going to put Virgin Snow too. We'll see if that makes the category. It might be too dark. And then there's the new Essie from their spring collection. Actually, I think it was a Target exclusive. Okay. So now, put down our darkest darks. My favorite black is Essie Licorice. And I also like China Glaze Liquid Leather. Haven't used it in a while, but I remember that one being awesome. And then I don't use the OPI ones very much. So then I will pick, let's see. Then of course I have to put Lincoln Park After Dark. That's a classic. And there's Wanna Wrap is another good one that I can think off the top of my head. Holidays Over You or something. And I think it's a dark navy from OPI. I think that's the name of it. Okay. So that's kind of my process there. And you know, sometimes I'll skip this step, but sometimes I'll be up in my room and I'll be thinking, oh, tomorrow I'm going to make my favorites video. So then I'll just hurry and go through and jot down the ones. So I don't always necessarily do this step down here in my room. I kind of do it as I'm sitting there and things just like pop into my head. that's a good start. Then after that process, I like to go through my phone, and my Instagram post that I have is just a great place to remind me of some of my favorites, and sometimes I'll even post twice the polishes that I love, so that will indicate that I really loved that one that year, because I go through so many polishes. I probably get about 100 plus polishes a year, and so it's just nice to go through them and see which ones were my favorites. And I even do like favorites videos throughout the year. And so I'll go through my Instagram and I'll show that with you here as I scroll through so you can see that a little bit more in depth. Notebook in my lap, and I'm going to scroll through here and just look at my Instagram page, and let's make sure the brightness is up and just pull anything off. So this is the one that I was talking about, and it's called Aqua Aura. So I'm going to write down the name. It's not Wistful Water Lily. That's a different color. I had that one wrong. That's why I double check, because I always make mistakes. Which one's Wistful Water Lily? This one. Yep, that one's pretty. Okay, I'll try not to breathe too heavily in the camera. So I'm going to scroll through here, see anything that's turquoise, a really light tinted color, and then a really dark color. This one's pretty close, man. Oh, that was so pretty. I think that's the one I was talking about, actually. That's from the spring collection. That's one of them. So I'm going to add that to my list because it is the lightest mint that I have. So that one's called First Kiss Bliss. And then, let's see. These are all really beautiful too from the Just Chill collection. They're a little bit harder to get a hold of. This is Cool and Collected. This was actually the one I was thinking of. I am going to write that down though. That was the polish that made me think to do this video, because you can see how light it is compared to some of those other blues, especially Virgin Snow. So I probably won't add Virgin Snow. It's just a little too dark. This is pretty too, but I feel like I don't like it as much because it's more frosty. I really like the newer one, Aqua Aura, better. This is really pretty too. It's kind of a light lavender. So I'm going to write that down. Here's another gorgeous blue on the download, but it's not as light as Cool and Collected. Pink and Bio is really pretty too, and that one also reminds me of, so I'm going to write that one down. And then I'm also going to write Lisbon Wants More OPI, because that's one of my favorites. This is a pretty turquoise, and that's a nice dark option. And so I'm going to write that one down. So you can see this process does take a little bit, because I'm definitely going to go back quite a ways. I probably won't take you through this whole entire thing, and honestly these lighter and pinker ones are going to be a little easier to find by me just going through my collection and pulling them out, but these turquoise ones, I think it'll be fun to kind of go through here and see which ones I really loved. I've done my favorite greens, right? This cost me a mint. Oh, I've used this picture a lot just because I love that mint polish. My sister was wearing it the other day and I was like, oh, it is so good. It's my favorite mint green. There's a really nice one from China Glaze though that I'm getting ready to do that collection, and I pulled out a bunch of mint polishes, and it's a little bit different, and I don't know, I think I might like it better than that one. So many good ones. This is pretty, huh? So I'll have to remember to check the Essie Gel Couture polishes too. Okay, let's see. Ooh, this is a nice green one. Is that turquoise though? I don't know. See, this is real turquoise to me, the Bustling Bazaar, and that's the one I have on my list. I'm just going to go through here. See, this is a good example. Oh, that's one of them. I Heart to Party. So good. Heart to Party. Kind of fun to go back and look at these. Remember that blue? So pretty. Remember the days when I used to take a lot of photos because people looked at them? I loved that. I love that mix. I might go back to more photos. Just look how fun the page looks instead of just having a bunch of reels. I love having this variety in color. I used to really think about what I was going to post next to make the color really cohesive on my page. And now it's just a bunch of swatches. I need to get back to posting more pictures as well. Kind of what I do. Sometimes I get distracted coming through here and looking at all these. This is the best collection ever. The Walli Electric Escape collection from 2021. So good. That's as far as I'm going to go back for now. I think I'll just get in my stash and look and see what I have, because that'll help me the most, I think, for these types of polishes. Okay, so that's that step. Then the next thing I'll do is I will actually go to my nail closet and I'll look through all the colors. That is a good, helpful thing too, is just to be able to pull the ones I've written down on my paper out, and also some things will catch my eye. I need to make sure I check my seasonal shelves right here that I'm not missing anything that's brand new, because sometimes those are hard for me to remember because they're just fresh and new in my brain. And so I will do that and pull all those out. So now I'm going to come here in my closet and I'm going to go through the darkest polishes. Like, these are pretty dark. Good Girls Gone Plaid is a really, really good one. OPI Heart to Parties right here. This is a little bit different than that one, so I will pick that. Those just aren't quite dark enough. Wanna Wrap is another one too, and those are all a little bit different. If I have 3 that are pretty close like this, then sometimes I'll try to pick 4 so I can just show the differences if I have one that I really love. But I think right now I'll just stick with these 3 as far as like purple maroon go, and I'll set those down. Then I go here to like my reds. You probably won't be able to see me for a minute. Guys and Galaxies, that is a fantastic darkest dark. And then here's Lincoln Park After Dark, which I definitely want. So those are going to go down here. I'm going to look in the blues and get the darkest darks. Those are all glittery. I'm not adding those. Those aren't quite dark enough. There's only one blue that's like super dark. Can I find it? Ah, there it is. I found it. There's a really dark brown called Top Secret. A lot of my darkest darks are from OPI. They just do those colors really well. There is a green I'm going to add over here that I'm sure you guys can guess what is. Stylenomics. And then let's look for the lightest lights. And then the next thing that I do is when I have all the polishes, I'll lay them all out on my floor and kind of go through them, and I'll show that process too and how I do that. I've got my computer here and my phone here to check things. I have this pot of remover here, so I'm going to take this polish off. It's been on for a while and it's held up so well. I'm just going to swatch some of these on my hand just so I can pick for sure my favorites. I like to do that on my hand especially. Before I list any more on this sheet, I'm going to put these in an order because I like to have them from lightest to darkest in order on my paper, because that's how I go through it on my video. Okay, so we're going to start with the turquoises just because they're right here in front of me, and I know for sure I'm going to pick Walli Vintage because that's my absolute favorite. This is in my top now. This is in my top now. I really like that this. And I'm going to paint this on, I don't think this counts as a turquoise. It's very pretty though. I gravitate toward greens. This is from the Unguilty Pleasures collection. But I don't think I'm going to add it. Maybe I'll zoom in. So it's very pretty if you can see it, but I don't think it's considered a turquoise. Maybe it is. It's just darker. We'll think about that one. And then I really love this OPI one as well. I really just love the bright turquoises the best, and I'll try to put similar ones together because I like to do comparison pictures as well with these. So this is going to be a really easy one to do favorites for because I really don't have a ton. I'm not going to consider this a turquoise, you guys. I'm going to take that out. It is though. This is too blue. Okay, I think I will. Yeah, that's a good one. It's just a more muted turquoise. Let's see what this one is. This is more blue too. Yeah, so that's definitely the one to pick out of all those. There's a lot of OPI shades like that. So I like that one. So let's see how many I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's perfect, actually. This was a little bit easier to do with the turquoises just because there's not as many of them. And this is a really nice, pretty light turquoise shade. So I want to add that too because that'll give me some variation in the video too. I haven't worn that color in a long time. That's so pretty. This is Sundress to Impress. Really beautiful light kind of sheer turquoise, so that's perfect. Then I have muted, then I have these bright ones, so I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to line up comparisons in my video. So this is how I would do it. I would put this one in a category by itself with no comparisons because it's a light sheer and then it has just a little bit of shimmer in it. Oh, so pretty. I need to pull this one out more. And then these, which are kind of mid-tones, a little bit muted, a few different color tones, and then one has some shimmer in it. And then I'll do all these together because they're a little bit brighter. And then this darker one that's kind of by itself as well. So that's perfect. 10 polishes. I have my 10. It usually doesn't go that fast. And like I said, this one's going to be a little bit different because usually I have like 30 polishes out here. And I have to go through and pick which ones I want. So these would be my 10. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside, and then I'm going to take some time to write those down. Okay, I've got those all written down. In fact, I got a new piece of paper just so they could be in order. I'm not going to, usually I would paint on right now and look them up, but I'm going to go through each collection here first, and I don't want this paint to get all over the place because I'm going to be turning the page. So I'm not going to do that quite yet. So now we're going to move on to the next one, and I'll probably start over again with a piece of paper. I wanted to show you an example of something though, and I'll turn my notebook around. If this notebook has, maybe it doesn't have a favorites in it though. These are all my notes from collections. It might not, oh, like here's my favorite reds. So you can see how many polishes I had in here. That is a ton. So I've painted all the polishes on here. I've starred and numbered all the ones that I chose. And then there's polishes next to it so I can see like how close something was to it. And so I can tell you right away, you know, if you like this one and maybe you have this other one and it's very close. So maybe you don't need the one that's my favorite. That's pretty in-depth, and reds are hard, you guys. I can't believe I did my favorite red polishes because that... I hate doing comparisons for reds, so go check that one out because that one took a ton of time. This one probably took me a couple days to like completely go through and pick, or at least 8 hours because I did it in blocks. So anyways, so this is a lot easier because I really only had 10 polishes out that I pulled out that are my favorites, so that just made it super easy. This lightest lights is going to be maybe a little harder if I try to keep it to 10, which I really think I'm going to because this will be one video. But let me pull these up next. This is going to be a little bit trickier to go through, and a lot of these are the same, and that's why I'm going to get my nail polish remover out again, just so that I can really study them on my nails to see what exactly is my favorite. Because these ones are going to be really close. So I have these polishes that are barely gray. These are like barely gray, and they're all very similar. The very first one that ever came out was my boyfriend Skills Walls, and I can tell that one's just a little bit lighter. So I'm going to paint that on and see. I loved this one when it came out, and I used it for a lot of nail art because it kind of, terrible painting. It's a little bit runny, that formula. I haven't used that one in a while. Let's clean that up a little bit. That's fine. It's fine. Let's compare it to this one. Yeah, those are all very close. This one's a little bit more gray. That was Set Apart by Tile Art. That was the one that I had on the top of my head. that I remembered. My Boyfriend's Skilled Walls I haven't thought about for a while, but it used to be one of my favorites until they came out with a few of these. This one's a little bit more gray, so I like that that's a little different. These, you're really not going to be able to tell the difference until you have it like built up. I think I'll just mention my Boyfriend's Skilled Walls because that one's pretty old. So I'm going to pick set apart by Tile Art, and then I will put this as like a mention next to that one. And then I Can Only Wear OPI will be next, and that one's just a little bit more gray. Love those two. So those are kind of my grays. Now I'm going to go into like the lightest pinks, and got these two, Lisbon Wants More OPI and Pink in Bio, and those are very close. So let's see how those compare. I'm going to take this other polish off my nails. I'm scared to do all the dark ones. I'm probably just going to steer clear from the edge of my nails so I don't stain up my hands while I'm trying this. Okay. So here's Lisbon Wants More OPI. One of my absolute favorite OPI polishes. I loved this one for such a long time. It is like the most beautiful, barely there, a little bit warm toned pink. Love it on my toes. It pretty much looks white on your toes out in the summer sun, but it's like a softer white, and it is gorgeous. Love that polish so much. Pink in Bio is a little bit more muted, I would say, not quite as bright, but beautiful too. I feel like Lisbon Wants More OPI has a little bit more white in the base, but they're very, very close. So I think I'll talk about Lisbon Wants More OPI and then mention Pink in Bio. We'll let that dry for a minute, and then I'll come back and do 2 coats to kind of decide on that one. So we'll do these here, and then these are the mentions that I just have a little bit. Let me scoot back. These are the chosen memorable ones. Chip crumbs. Okay. And now I'm going to go with this kind of purpley hues. Gorgeous. This is Cool and Collected. And then Hue is the Artist, which is one of my absolute favorite polishes. So I'm going to do Hue is the Artist here. Trying to not get polish on my carpet. I should be more careful, though I can be klutzy at times. Oh, that is so good, you guys. And when they build up, they're even better. Cool and Collected is hard to get. A lot of you US people might not be happy about that, but I'm going to include it anyway because it is amazing. So I'll have to do a few coats on that one too. So we're going to let that one dry. Probably add both of those because they're a little bit different. Cool and Collected's a little bit cooler. I'm going to come back and do Pink in Bio, second coat. It's a little peachier. I love this color too. Not good at painting kind of in the air. Used to a table. And then we'll do Lisbon Wants More, second coat. Just to kind of see just how different they are. Doing them thicker so I can really get an idea without having to do 3 coats. They're very close. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll just keep this in Wants More OPI. Pink in Bio is pretty close too. I really can't tell the difference, you guys. So that's good. Yeah, that one's more a little icier. Oh, those are so pretty. Both of those are going in because they're different enough. Okay. Now, yeah, those are so close. Pink in Bio and Lisbon Wants More OPI. I wonder if I did comparisons. I always do that. I wonder if I did comparisons with that one. Hopefully I didn't miss it. And so there's purples. And now we have blues. I have quite a few blues, and I probably can already see one that I'm not going to include because it is maybe a little too dark. We'll see. I don't know, it's kind of close to this. Yeah, I'm not going to include that one. But it is kind of close to, which one do I want to do? First Kiss Bliss is more of a mint, and this is more of a blue. So will I add both of those? Was this the lightest mint? I swear we've had a lighter mint than this. That one's pretty light though, from the Love line. I feel like we've had one recently, so this is where I'll go check my phone and look at my reviews, because chances are that's going to give me the information that I need. Well, I'm thinking of First Kiss Bliss. So this one's more of sagey, which I like better. So these are perfect. I'm going to keep both of these. Find Me Oasis is nice too. It's just barely blue. How does that, oh, these are all different, so I think I might keep them all, except what's this one? Doodle the Minimum. How does that compare to this? Cool and Collected. It's pretty close, it's just a little bit more blue. So I think I'm going to add all of these because they are all a little bit different. I think I need to decide between a few of these. So let's line them up and then we'll decide in a minute. I'm taking this out on the download because it's got that shimmer in it. I might not have this. I might do that peach or this peach. This green's amazing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 separate videos for this. That'll be better anyway. I was thinking of just doing one for lightest lights and darkest darks, but if I can get 3 videos out of this with all my time, that'll be awesome. But I really need to narrow these down because I'm really going to try to stick to 10. And I think that's why I'm going to take out Find Me an Oasis, because it's just not, and I'll probably mention it, so I'm going to tuck it away. And then Cool and Collected is hard to get, but this green's amazing. I forgot about it. Believe that. It has some shimmer in it. Oh my goodness. And I'm really liking shimmery colors this year. So this one's perfect. I feel like everyone's going to love this one. I'm excited to talk about it. Now I need to find a peach. This is a beautiful peach though. It's like the palest peach. And I forgot about this one too. There's so many great polishes from the SHL Couture line. That one is a must-have, and I feel like talk to the sand, maybe it's just a little too dark. No, it is a light color. It's so pretty. You guys know I love this. This is one of my favorites of the year. I think in like 2021 or 2022, can't remember. One of my all-time favorite polishes. It is so pretty. I think you can still find it at like Nordstrom Rack sometimes, Marshalls or places like that. I'll obviously link it if it's available anywhere else. Okay, how many do I have? Oh dear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How can I narrow this down? I think I can take one of these out because they're pretty close. And I think the one I want to keep is this little bit lighter one, Set Apart by Tile Art. So I'm going to take that one out, but I will leave it as a comparison. I'm going to take one more out because I'm really going to stick to 10. I'm really going to do that. And maybe I'll just mention Cool and Collected and leave this one in because this one's so hard to get. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, and I think I've decided. So those are my 10. This is pretty fast with this many polishes, you guys, so that's great. So I'm going to take a minute and write these down. Okay, now I'm going to pull out Darkest Darks, and I can already tell which ones I want to pull out. That one's very close. I'm just going to have that be mentionable. So Wanna Wrap and OPI Heart to Party are pretty close. Like very, very close. I feel like Wanna Wrap's a touch darker. So I'm going to keep that one, and then I'll mention Heart to Party because they're so close. Good Girls Gone Plaid is similar, but it's even deeper than Wanna Wrap, so I'm going to want to keep that. And then Lincoln Park After Dark. And then Guys and Galaxies is a beautiful, rich kind of red-brown, which I love. I'm still questioning if I'm going to do these grays. I feel like I'm missing a gray, and I feel like it's I feel like there's a Morgan Taylor or China Glaze gray that's really dark that I love that I need to look through. Haven't gone through China Glaze yet, so I need to do that. And then SE Stylenomics is a green that I love, and then Licorice is my favorite black. So it's interesting, a lot of my favorite whites are more SE and a lot of my favorite darks are more OPI. So I'm going to take those out. I'll set these aside. I was going to put Wicked in there, but it's pretty close to Guys and Galaxies, and I like Guys and Galaxies better. So let me check my China Glaze stash real quick to make sure I've got everything. I feel like I have a gray that I want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might be able to do 10. Hang on. Okay, I zoomed out a little bit because I grabbed a few more polishes. There wasn't any China Glaze. This OPI one, which has been a favorite of mine for a long time too. I think it must go darker on the nails. Oh, so pretty. Definitely fall colors. Oh yeah. That is beautiful. I think I remember it being pretty much exact to rub a pub. So pub or tub. Pub. I feel like I always say that wrong. Let's compare them. Yeah, they're pretty similar. The formula on the Morgan Taylor one though is so good. So I'm gonna keep that one. They're pretty much exactly the same. So I'll mention this one because people might have that one. I'm definitely gonna put that in because it's like the darkest gray that I have. It's not super dark, but pretty dark. And then this Smoky Plum that I remembered from Morgan Taylor. This one's actually more purple and less berry. And it's a little smoky. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. And it's a little bit different. It's not as like berry toned as these. Let's check Guys and Galaxies. This probably is like the deepest red burgundy that I have, and it's been a favorite of mine for a long time. There's tons of colors like this though, but this is just one that I love. This is gonna be my group. I think I have a ton of these colors. What am I gonna do about that? Yeah, they're all different. So now I'm gonna write all these down, and I'm gonna write down the mentions that are close. So now I'm gonna come in, I usually write everything first, but I'm just gonna start painting these so they start to dry because I've got three different ones to do. So I'll just show you one though. I won't put you through that misery, but I just go through and I polish every one on here and then let it dry really good. Probably won't show up too much on this video. Maybe I'll zoom in for this part so you can see it a little bit closer. Just because, I don't know, maybe that's fun for you guys. And then you can kind of see on here how they compare, and it does kind of show how the formulas compare as well, because they are a little bit different, even though some of these are similar in color, and that's important to mention also. It's like backwards. Yeah, this green's not as cool toned as that other one. Oh, that one with the shimmer is so pretty, and I think the shimmer is what makes it a little bit different. And then adding that color, and then I'm gonna find me an Oasis in between these because this color sits pretty much in between these. It's like right in between the colors of those. So I added that one, and then I'm gonna add Doodle the Minimum after it, and I usually do about 2 coats on this. This is more blue toned, and it gets more green. Although I feel like Find Me an Oasis is a little bit closer to First Kiss Bliss. It's just warm. It's warmer toned. And then Hue is the Artist. Is kind of purple, but it's also kind of pink. It's like a pinky purple. And Cool and Collected, which I'm just going to mention because it's a little bit harder to find, is cooler and more purple. And I think I put a star on here, and I'm going to put a bonus ad. I'm going to add this one. It needs to be mentioned because it's awesome. I can't leave it out. So I just added that one. And Lisbon wants more OPI. Look how pretty all those shades are. And then I mentioned Pink and Bio because that one's pretty close to this too. They're actually super, super close. Closer than I thought. But that one I'll just mention. So I'll number these too after I'm done getting these. And then I also want to mention my boyfriend Skills Wall. I put Spider-Man Skills Wall, but it's boyfriend. It's such a great polish. Very close to this other one though. But it'll be good to mention all of them and have them all on my sheet so I can see exactly. And that's more great. Oh, I really want to mention that one too. I might have 12 for this one. And that's okay. I just might. I think I will. Now that I have them all down next to each other. Okay, so I'm going to let those dry while I fill out some of the information. And then I'll come in and do a second coat. Okay, so that's done for this. That took me about, what, 25 minutes or so. I'm going to let these dry before I turn the page and write down the other ones. I won't put you through the misery of all that. But that's what I do, and I line them up, and that even helps me narrow things down or maybe change things a little bit when I have them all here on the sheet. As you can see, hopefully here, that this is more of like a cool toned gray that's almost blue, and then this is a little bit lighter gray, and then this is a darker gray. So those are quite different. I think my Boyfriend Skills Wall from the Spider-Man collection is a little harder to get, and it is pretty close to Set Apart by Tile Art, but I feel like Set Apart by Tile Art is more blue toned, so they are a little different. So I'll just mention that, but then I'm going to keep I Can Only Wear OPI on that as well. And then I think I'm just going to mention Find Me an Oasis, just because that one is kind of in between these, and this one's more cool toned, and then this one here is quite a bit more warm minty, and this is like a warm tone blue. So I'll probably just mention that because I really don't reach for this color that often. I don't feel like the formula is like super fantastic, especially with the skinny brush. Maybe I need to pick up a new bottle of this one because I've had it around for a long time. So we'll see. And I don't think I'm going to do any comparisons of these on my hands just because they are quite a bit different, and I don't have so many colors that are close together. I think they're different enough that I can just explain it. So that's that part, and we're all done. I'm going to finish up the other ones, and then I'm ready to film. When I'm filming, I make sure I put up pictures of all those. So if I don't have any pictures, I'll swatch them. So that's the process. Takes quite a bit of time. Sometimes I don't always paint this, but the more I've done it, the more that I do it, just because I feel like it is pretty helpful. And hopefully that was fun for you guys to watch along and come along with me. I'm going to let this dry and then come back and do the other ones. Okay, hopefully that was helpful and you really enjoyed that little journey with me. It was interesting trying to figure out how to record this and exactly how to do it, but I thought I'd just do little introductions to each step that I do. And so I hope that you guys like that. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye.